You have no idea how much I love handheld gaming. The Nintendo Switch dominates so much of my life. I kind of love it, if you can't tell. But something that I don't get to talk about nearly as much is the 3DS, because I only have so much room in my heart, in my life, for portable gaming. I have done my best throughout the year to keep up with all the great 3DS games that have been coming out. I've talked about so many games in so many videos. A lot of these games I didn't get a chance to play until now, and a couple of them I didn't even realize came out. So this is a list of 5 games for the 3DS that you might have missed just like I did, that you shouldn't miss. Are you ready? I'm clearly ready. I'm excited. Let's get to it. Now, the first game is one that I really wanted to talk about when it was released. I almost made a video about it and just got carried away with other things, and that game is Ahsis. This one was actually highly requested when it came out for me to cover. One thing I really loved about the game right off the bat was that it was influenced by Egyptian aesthetics. I don't know why I had trouble saying that. Growing up, I always had a fascination with Egypt, so that alone had me ready. In this game, you are a leader of a settlement that needs your help. It's like an RPG, but with town management. As you build up the town and settlement, you get access to more things like shops and crafting recipes. The town grows and evolves from a bleak desert to a rich, lush environment. As you play the game, you will attract potential villagers. You fulfill their requests, build them shops and stock them, and then gain the profits from them. And that's how you build your settlements. That's how you build your towns. But there is so much to do around that as well. As I said, there are dungeon areas where you can actually take those villagers that you attract, put them in your party, and go around and kill things with them, which I like that element. It gets you more attached to the characters, so they're not just random NPCs that have shops. They also go out with you and help you build this settlement. And just like you'd expect, while you're battling, you level up and learn new abilities. What you do in the dungeons also greatly benefits your settlement, which gives you a really rewarding feeling no matter what you're doing in the game. You are always working towards building that settlement. There is also an overworld where you can explore, kill monsters, and find caves and more dungeons. I totally expected it to have a lot of depth to it, but while playing it, I found out there was so much more to the game than I even expected. So I highly recommend you trying it out, playing it for yourself, finding and discovering these things that I don't want to talk about all of it and ruin all of it. Plus, we only have so much time. I can't do 5 fully fleshed out reviews. That's insane. That'd be like a single video for each game in one bit. That'd be too long. So let's move on. I recommend playing that though. Before we move on, I recommend playing it. Yeah, I'm in a weird mood today. Now this next one's really cool, both to me as a retro gamer and just a fan of Fire Emblem, and that's Fire Emblem Echoes. I cannot believe I missed this game. It does seem like recently everywhere you turn you get smacked in the face with a Fire Emblem game. From 3DS to Nintendo Switch, Fire Emblem's been pretty heavy the last couple years, but I think that's why I completely missed Fire Emblem Echoes. This game is a remake of the NES game Fire Emblem Gaiden, which was never actually released outside of Japan. And the coolest thing about this remake is that NES version of Fire Emblem had a lot of features and mechanics that we haven't seen in Fire Emblem games since. That made the game so much more refreshing because I really liked the mechanics and it felt like we were getting a new style of Fire Emblem game now in 2017 rather than a remake. For starters, I really like the story in this game and I wish I could go into more detail about the story, but I don't want to give too many spoilers, and again, we're on out of time. Oh God. I love having that excuse in these videos. Sorry, I can't cover the whole thing, and it got so much time. But, you know, I don't want to ruin it. But I will say that one of the characters in the game is named Celica, and I liked that because my first car was a Celica. It was an 86 Celica, and my second car was a 96 Celica. Fun fact, in Australia, we actually pronounce it Celica, and I think that's a much cooler way to pronounce it, Celica. Don't you love how I said be quick for time reasons, and I couldn't talk about the story, and then I spent a whole minute talking about a car brand? Yeah. Anyway, I actually really like the way this game looks and feels on the system as opposed to its counterparts. It has a nice individual style to it. There is a ton of world building in this game, and I recommend exploring each of the towns and talking to the town folk to learn more about the world. Now, I was talking about those different mechanics that we haven't seen for a while, and here's a big one. When you explore dungeons in the game, it becomes like an action RPG until you strike an enemy, and then it becomes a turn-based battle. So think Persona series, very similar to that. Once you dive into the game, you will discover a lot of rich, traditional style RPG elements, both in the battle system and the character leveling. Again, it's weird that this is a remake for the NES game, but it's a Fire Emblem game in 2017 that's like a gift that just keeps on giving. I've been waiting for that Switch version of Fire Emblem to come out because I'm excited to see if it's different to the style we've been getting recently, and here is this game that was already out that I completely missed. So if you're like me and you're looking for that different twist on a Fire Emblem game, here's a different twist that's actually an original twist. Ladies and gentlemen, early in the year I was sent Mario Sports Superstars. I say I was sent it. Nintendo emailed me, asked me if I wanted to review it. I said, heck yes, gimme. They sent it and I never got it. I actually completely forgot about that totally until about a week ago when they emailed me again saying, hey, it's been almost a year, where's your review? And that actually led me to this entire video idea because I thought, how do I review this game now a year later? So we have this game to thank for the entire video, but let's talk about this game a little bit more, shall we? In Mario Sports Superstars, you can expect to play tennis, golf, soccer, baseball, all these games we've seen Mario characters in and do before from the NES all the way through GameCube and Wii and blah blah blah. But the new one this time is horse racing. You can play all these games offline or online, there's tournament modes, there's a bunch of stuff in it. This is a great time waster game. If you're out somewhere or you don't have a great deal of time to be playing, but you just want to whip out your 3DS and play something real quick, it's one of them games that don't take a lot of investing. You can just play a couple hours of it, have fun and be done. While I was looking for footage for my review, I actually stumbled across a channel that covered this game really well, better than I can right now in a couple of minutes. That channel is called the Nintendo Power Couple. This channel has about 5,000 subscribers right now, but honestly, with the quality I saw from them, I expected to see a lot more. They put a lot of work into that review, both from the script to the in-depth nature of it, and just to the quality of the video in general. So make sure to check out that channel and check out the game, Mario Sports Superstar. As I said, a great time waster. And fun, if you like sports. So the next one's technically two ones, and I know that doesn't make sense, and you probably didn't miss hearing about Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, but you may have missed playing it. And maybe that was because you already played Sun and Moon and you weren't sure how different it was gonna be, or maybe you haven't played any of the iterations and you didn't know where to start. Whatever the reason is, let me talk about Ultra Sun and Moon and how they differ from the originals. Also, I will say that Nintendo also sent me this game, and I forgot. I actually was sent this one, and I legitimately kind of forgot to review it. Two birds with one stone. Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon are enhanced versions of the original Sun and Moon titles, with more Pokemon, a new dimension to explore, and a bunch of extra details. Some of the nicest changes being a more brightly colored UI, quicker way to save. They took out a lot of slow dialogue. Also, they sped up the whole start of the game, which I loved. Because seriously, I know how this works. I've been playing Pokemon since I was 10 years old. You pick a Pokemon out of 3 Pokemon and then you go on a freaking journey and you start catching Pokemon. Just let me start my journey, and that's what this game does a little bit quicker. In this new version of the game, you can surf and do tricks, which is actually pretty fun and enjoyable. You can ride legendary Pokemon through wormholes to discover new Pokemon. Even some of the trials, which are the gym battles in this game, have been tweaked and reworked to make it a little bit more fun, which honestly it's sorely needed. Some of those trials kind of got boring, especially once you figured out the rhythm of how pretty much all of them work. Honestly, a lot about this game was changed and tweaked, which I'm happy to see, as buying the exact same twice isn't something I enjoy doing, even though I do it all the time. I said do. The only somewhat disappointing thing is the story is pretty much the same throughout the whole game until right at the end. So if you're picking this up really hoping the story's different, yeah, you might be disappointed. At this point, if you haven't played Sun and Moon, these versions are the obvious choice. They are definitely an improvement and more enjoyable. And if you have played them, but you want to play them again, and you're not sure if you want to replay your old ones you already have, or buy these new ones, I will say there's enough tweaked in the game, enough added to the game, to keep giving you those exciting little moments as you keep playing. So yeah, it's definitely worth it, whichever way you go. But then, it's a Pokemon game on the 3DS, so it kind of went without saying, but there's my opinion. And lastly, we have another remake from the PlayStation 2, and that game is Dragon Quest VIII: Journey of the Cursed King. This game is a fantastic JRPG that was initially released for the PlayStation 2 in 2005, and it made its way to Android devices in 2014, and finally found a home on the 3DS with a remake at the very start of this year. In North America anyway. Japan's had it since 2015. They get all the good stuff first. Dragon Quest VIII is still a really fun game, even now. Even comparing it to RPGs that are coming out now for the 3DS or anywhere else, it still competes as far as a great, fun Japanese RPG. It's a great game. It always has been. If you still haven't played this game and you loved games like Final Fantasy VII back in the day, this is not one to miss out on. In this version, the gameplay is changed up. There is no random encounters in the fields anymore. So you can avoid the battles if you really want, which personally I love because I hate random encounters. I much prefer seeing the enemy and being able to decide whether or not I want to sidestep it. But if you're one of those people that love random encounters, fret not, because while you're sailing, you can still get into them. While battling, you can speed up the battles now, which is really nice. You can skip those lengthy animations. They've added a quick save, which is a heaven sent. They've added 2 new party members and new scenarios. It's a great game for the 3DS. It fits the library so well and competes, as I said, with the other RPGs that are on the system. And just like with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, if you played the games already, you can still play this and enjoy the new features, enjoy the game in all its glory. And if you haven't played the game, now is the perfect chance to jump on board with Dragon Quest VIII. And that is 5 games for the 3DS that you might have missed in 2017. Did you miss them, or did you play them and love them? Let me know down below. What games did I miss? Are there any other ones that I didn't talk about today? Make sure to watch my other 3DS videos because they might be in those, but if they're not, let me know down below that I massively screwed up. Remember to like, leave that comment down below, subscribe because we become best friends. I hope you stick around. I hope you watch another video on the channel, but if you've seen them all already and you're completely up to date, well, that's like 400 videos. You might need to go outside. I have no idea how to end this video. I've tried like 7 times. I've got nothing. I'm just excited to be here. I've been filming for like an hour. I've said too much. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna walk away. Subscribe though.